Wake up, wake up, wake up. This is No Rehearsal TV, bringing you real, raw reality. Our topic today is church and money, and I have two special guests. Introduce yourself for a moment.
Well, I'm Anika. I am the wife, mother of 5. I could say so much about myself, but you know me from going to church together. I just have a love for the Lord. I'm a social butterfly. I love helping people.
Yes.
You'll see me or hear me on social media. I run a successful nephrology practice. I help people start their businesses. I just have a heart for service.
And you cook good food, you cater.
Oh, yes, I cook.
Yes.
And I am Henri Chambers, and I am a good friend of her. Matter of fact, he's one of my best friends. I grew up with him.
Amen.
And I'm just happy to be here. And I'm a father of 5, and to me right now, life is just great, and I'm happy to be in this presence, and I'm ready to get to this topic.
First, you have been a faithful church member, donating to all kind of causes for a long time.
Yeah.
Now you go to church from time to time.
Yeah, time to time.
But I wouldn't call you a faithful church member.
I'm not.
But I called you one that's on the fence.
Yeah.
And one that's a potential church member.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to have that perspective from church and money.
Correct.
And I'm a pastor myself, and you will get that pastoral point of view of church and money. So these are the 3 point of views that we're going to talk from today, so people kind of get a little background information on the perspectives that we have. Now, the first thing we want to talk about, does church and money mix?
Yes.
Why so?
Well, let me get on my soapbox with this one. I think people confuse the church as just a place of help, because it is, but the church is a business, and the church has an EIN number. The church has to pay utilities. The church is a business, and no business can run without money. And I think that is, for me, that's where my soapbox begins, because I believe that we don't recognize that the church has to operate as a business. It's God's business.
Amen.
So.
Me, I disagree.
Okay.
And the reason that I disagree, because to me, church is not a business. I mean, church and money is like oil and water to me. It's like it doesn't mix. And the reason that I say that, because I'm not perfect with scripture, but I can clearly remember a scripture in the Bible where Jesus knocked over that plate because they were charging people to come into the temple and pray. And so it's like that always stuck with me. I feel like that if you're truly doing God's work, then I mean, He's gonna handle that. God is not a business. Saving souls is not a business to me. That's a natural right of living. I feel like that's what we're here for. So it's like that's why a lot of churches are not saving people, because they got it set up as a business mind. And it's like here on earth, I look at it, and church scares me because I feel like God is the money here on earth. That's why that money says, "In God we trust." So it's like that's the money, but at the same time, it's like that has nothing to do with God, like at all. So I just feel like that's where the two they conflict, and it's you're never gonna save people like that. Like,
Well, let's go back to the scripture.
Not saying that you don't need the money, because you do, but when you get to looking at God, the entity, like a business, like nah.
So what I hear is you saying
Just
the
does.
way that it is done, the way that it's worded. Okay, so if we go back to the scripture that you brought out, when Jesus turned the tables over of the money changers, you have to understand why he did that. So what he did it for, because they were selling goods inside of the temple.
Correct.
So in other words, they were making profit inside of the temple.
Inside
Now
of the
here's the reality of it. That's a slippery slope, right? Because today people sell books and all kind of different things and dinner plates and all of that kind of stuff
And that's-
inside the
and
church,
that's
right?
fine. And I think like you should, because
Well-
that helps the church. It's like I
I
have no
kind of
problem
disagree
that.
with the plate
It's
selling,
like,
right?
Okay, maybe the plate selling, yeah. but
Okay,
as far
so
as like everything else, you should be able to.
Okay.
I feel like in the temple, in the sanctuary per se,
Yeah.
we don't need to have people selling stuff inside the sanctuary, setting up tables
Yeah,
inside the
inside.
sanctuary.
Correct.
You got a fellowship hall,
Right.
you know what I mean? You got a foyer, you got different places
Yeah.
where practical things can be sold. Because I feel like an artist or a person who is an author, they should have the right to sell a certain good.
Correct.
If I'm coming to speak to your congregation, right? Which is another one of our topics we're going to talk about with church and money. But we always want to bring back into view that Jesus, he did turn those tables over because things were not done in an orderly fashion.
Correct.
So I think there is a way to do things in the church, but sometimes the church is out of order.
Right.
Most of the time, let's just be real.
And I think
Most
that-
of the
Most of the
and see,
time, the
that's-
church
and
is out of
That's
order.
my point. I think that order comes because you're running it like a business.
Well, and then no, because a good business has great order.
yeah, that's true.
A good business has great order.
That's true. I agree with that.
So I think I see what you're saying, and it is in my view, it is a business, and it's God's business, and a dollar sign shouldn't be attached to it. Is how I feel, and I think we could agree on that. What I'm saying is, as a business, there's a set of rules to running a business.
Correct.
Correct.
There's a standard that you have to follow. And so if you think about it as a business, you align it this way. So IRS is who governs our business.
Yeah.
God governs the church. This is the set of tax rules is our Bible. And so that's how I relate it as a business in my mind. If you are living and doing according to the will of God and following the scripture, the church is going to be successful because
no matter what.
you know that you're supposed to tithe. You
Right.
know that you're supposed to
Right.
bring your offering.
Right.
So
Correct.
that's going to support the church. So that's how I view it as running the business, not as, always hitting up on people financially.
Yeah, financial.
Okay, so let's go to that because you brought up the tithe, right? So anytime you're talking about church and money, the first thing that really comes up is the tithe. How much am I supposed to give? Is 10% what we're supposed to give? 10% plus an offering? What is it that we should give? I've even heard people say, well, the tithe was in the Old Testament, and in the New Testament, there's no specification on the tithe.
Yeah.
I've heard people say that. I've also heard people say, okay, if I don't tithe, am I going to hell? So these are the kind of questions that come up when we talk
And
about
that's-
church and money.
It's like that's where the conflict is.